That was from, well, I first started feeling ill the day after Thanksgiving 2004. I come home, I was in law school, and I come home for Thanksgiving, and I ate some leftover ham, and immediately doubled over in severe abdominal pain. And they took me through some basic blood work, and then realized that my liver enzymes were really high. They were abnormal.
What date was that?
November 6, 2011. And I only waited 5.5 months for my transplant, which I now, at the time it seemed like forever, but I now realize it was no wait at all. It was 172 days. I believe, from what I understand, the girlfriend of the man who received Taitlyn's pancreas was told some basic information by the transplant surgeon, and she just got online and actually started Googling young kids who had died and who lived in the West Virginia area. I'm not sure she was told exactly the city where Taitlyn lived. Taitlyn was living in Martinsburg at the time when she died. I'm not sure. I think at that point Taitlyn's mom had let people know Taitlyn is not going to make it. We're looking for children who need organ transplants, because at the age of 11 Taitlyn decided that if anything happened to her, she wanted to be an organ donor, which I think is just fabulous. From one of my cousins, Sharita, and she said, "Why aren't you excited?" And I thought, my daughter's somebody's possibly about to be somebody's child. I can't get excited about that. This is somebody's child, and I keep thinking about this family who, it's like you want to have a face and you want to have a name, and so I just saw this family, but it's almost like you see people with question marks on their face. That's what I saw.
I have, even though I'm in my 30s, I've lived a very good life. It's my 3rd degree. I'm a lawyer now working for the Obama administration. Well, at that time, by the time I was put on the transplant list, I stopped, but in my mind I just thought, I have lived a good life. I have traveled the world. I have lived a good life. This kid will never get to do the things that I have taken for granted.
It was hard, just to read about how Taitlyn had this dream of changing the world, but knowing that a part of her lives on in me. And it's just, to me, one of the best things that I can do is to keep her memory alive. It's just very important to me. I really can't put my finger on it, but from the day that I knew that a child saved my life, I said I would always make sure that when people talk about my transplant, that they talk about Taitlyn too. So I never referred to it as my story, because I wouldn't have a story without Taitlyn. I always say our story, Taitlyn's and my story.